This is the story of Laurence Lovejoy. In the summer of 2003, Valerie Justice was visiting her retired mother, who babysat in her spare time. A little girl was getting dropped off by her father, and her father just happened to be Laurence Lovejoy. After that first encounter, Valerie seen Laurence a few more times at her mother's house. In that last visit, Laurence just happened to mention that he was looking for a place to stay. And since Valerie's 15-year-old daughter was away for the summer with her father, she offered Laurence to stay with her in her apartment. The two played like roommates for the first few weeks, but eventually they started sleeping together, and by the end of the summer, they were in a full-blown relationship. When August rolled around, it was time for Valerie's 15-year-old daughter, Erin Justice, to come home. But Erin, who is this I'm coming home to? Who is this man? She wasn't too fond of Laurence. And rightfully so, girl. I just left this summer and I just come back in August and you already got a man living here? Come on. Even though Erin was not feeling Laurence, Valerie said she did not want to end the relationship. But she did say she didn't want to keep shacking up with Laurence because she wanted to be more of a Christian lady. So he had to marry her or he was out of there. And of course, being the homeless man that he is, Laurence agreed. And after just 4 months of being together, he asked Valerie, "Will you marry me?" The two got married November 7th, 2003 at the courthouse, and Erin was with them. Valerie said it was beautiful and she was ready to start their life together. But just a month after that, when Valerie got home from work, she walked into Laurence and Erin arguing loudly over her being on the phone with boys. Valerie said, "Let me handle my daughter. I don't need you to tell her what to do." Valerie said she was confused on why Laurence was so mad about Erin being on the phone talking to boys. I mean, she is a teenage girl. What do you expect? Valerie told Erin to avoid conflict, just wait till I get home before you use the phone, which is crazy, but Erin agreed. After that, things quieted down for a few months. Erin was in driving school and her and Laurence were getting along. They was laughing together. He would take her out to drive. The family even got a dog together. Valerie and Laurence found a house that they wanted to potentially buy. She was happy. She picked up a second job just to make sure she had the down payment for this house. But with her picking up that second job, Erin was at home alone most of the time with Laurence, who worked overnight. They were set to close on the house on March 4th, 2004, but just 2 days before, Valerie called Erin just to check on her. But when Erin answered the phone, she sounded a little off. She asked Erin was she okay, and she said yes and hung up. And about an hour later, Valerie was getting a call from the police telling her to come to her friend's apartment. When Valerie got to Erin's classmate apartment, she seen that she was visibly shaking. Erin told the police that Laurence sexually assaulted her when she got home from practice. Erin was taken to the hospital to get checked out, and they seen that she was not penetrated, but she had saliva on her cheek and her breast. Now, Valerie was iffy. She thought Erin was just making this up because her and Laurence didn't really get along, but Erin said, "Hey, I'm telling the truth." Now, back at the police station, Laurence is saying a whole different story. He said Erin is making all of this up because he got on her about her cell phone usage. But the police didn't have any evidence, so they had to let Laurence go. Valerie ended up closing on the house by herself. She told Laurence that they cannot be together until the results come back from the saliva that was on her daughter's cheek and breast. So they was not in contact until the puppy got sick. So she decides to call Laurence to take the puppy to the vet. On the morning of March 27th, 2004, Erin is waiting on her father to pick her up because she was supposed to go with him for the week. But he ended up canceling the last minute. Now, Laurence is supposed to be on his way to pick up the puppy, but Valerie don't want them two to cross paths. When Valerie found out that Erin's father canceled, she hurried up and called Laurence and told him to reschedule the dog appointment. And he agreed. A couple hours later, Valerie called to check on Erin, but she got no answer. She thought she fell asleep, so she called a couple more times. Still no answer. So she told her boss, "I gotta go check on my daughter." When Valerie walked in her house, she found her daughter face down in a tub full of water. She was not only beat to death, she was stabbed to death as well. During interrogation, even though Lawrence could not tell the detectives his whereabouts between the times of the murders, they still had to let Lawrence go because of lack of evidence. It wasn't until 3 months later, when the DNA results came back a positive match to Laurence Lovejoy, he was convicted of the murder of Aaron Justice. In 2007, Lawrence was sentenced to death, but it was overturned to life without the possibility of parole. And I did forget to mention that Aaron had a crazy amount of over the counter cough syrup in her system. They think that he forced her to take that. I don't know why. I think that he actually went over there to try to force her to take the case up off of him. And she was probably like, no. But I'm also still stuck on the fact that she knew that man 4 months, moved him in, and married him, all while her daughter was away for the summer.